the Labor Party, at least for the next 4 or 5 weeks, Chris Bowen there. And interesting to listen to the questions as much as the answers. You can tell the journalists still aren't aware of exactly how the process, the rules work, and the nitty-gritty there. Who pays for their campaigning over the coming 5 weeks? Anthony Albanese and Bill Shorten. What happens if there is a tie? A lot of this is, well, it is all uncharted waters, and a lot of this is untested and unknown exactly how this is going to work. Certainly from the hope of the Labor Party and from what you heard from Chris Bowen there is this will be a stable, smooth process. No acrimony. Chris Bowen is acting leader and then the process goes through its course and the new leader is chosen. But in reality, we are going to enter a period where there are effectively 3 Labor leaders, Chris Bowen, Anthony Albanese and Bill Shorten. Their views will be sought on all key issues by the media during this period while we go through this process. The front bench will remain largely in place. That makes sense. They're not going to make wholesale change to the front bench now, only having to do it again in about 5 weeks' time. And portfolio holders will keep their portfolios. Richard Marles adding defence now that Stephen Smith has left the Parliament. We are expecting to hear more from both Anthony Albanese and Bill Shorten this afternoon. We'll take a quick break and come back with more. Stay with us.
Out here, success is measured in fractions of a second. So pushing the limit requires a good foundation, which is why our racing cars are based on our most dynamic sedan, the Volvo S60. Come and drive the S60 to see why we're taking it V8 supercar racing.
No child should face a future of working on the streets. Help protect children from a life of exploitation. Sponsor a child today. Call 13 32 40 or visit worldvision.com.au.
One of Jetstar's biggest sales of the year is on now, so grab your mates and book that holiday you've been talking about. Take off from Sydney to the Gold Coast for $39, Brisbane to Sydney for $55, or Melbourne Tullamarine to Singapore for just $179. There's a one-way, check baggage not included. Selected travel dates in 2013 and 14. Sail ends midday Eastern Standard Time September 14 unless sold out prior. Conditions apply.
For details and to book, visit jetstar.com.
Hi.
Top spot.
If you love getting away, get into BCF. Pick up a Wanderer Goliath 10-person tent for a low introductory offer of $199. Grab an Austrail Deluxe 3x3 gazebo for just $199, save $50. And this Wanderer reclining lounger for just $89, save $60. BCF, Australia's greatest boating, camping and fishing store.
Cheap insurance, meerkats. 2 very different things. Listen there, jingle. CompareTheMarket.com.au. Listen mine. CompareTheMeerkat.com.au. Don't even sound same. For compare meerkats, come to CompareTheMeerkat.com.au. For easy way to find good insurance deal, please go to CompareTheMarket.com.au. Simples.
How do you make smiles? Share your smile maker at the Allens Facebook page.
You're watching Lunchtime Agenda. Welcome back to the program. We are going to hear from Anthony Albanese now that he's declared his intention to contest the leadership. In about 10 minutes, he'll be making some comments to the media about his case as to why he should be made leader. Let's get some initial reaction to all of this. Alan Tudge is a Liberal MP joining us this afternoon. Do you welcome, support the idea, the concept of democratising this process of who should lead a major party?
Well, in some respects, it's up to the Labor Party to determine their own decisions and their own processes. But what I would say in this regard is that Anthony Albanese will win the popular vote amongst the members. Bill Shorten will win the caucus vote. And for me, that's a recipe for instability.
Why is that such a problem for a party that's just gone into opposition? They've got 3 years until they face the voters again.
Sure.
If you're going to go through this, now's the time to do it, I suppose. Is it such an unhealthy thing to give the membership a say?
Well, I just don't think it's tenable for a parliamentary leader to not have the support of his or her caucus. It's just not tenable. In this instance also, if there are different policy positions, and Anthony Albanese, for example, might win a mandate on a particular policy, but then doesn't carry it into the caucus, then what happens with the caucus? What policy position do they take?
You certainly can't accuse the Labor Party of having faceless men orchestrate these things anymore, though, can you?
No, at this stage it's not. They can't orchestrate this. This will be up to the members.
Yeah, so no longer are the faceless men pulling the strings.
Oh, the faceless men obviously have a big say over the caucus votes. They continue to do so. They will always do so.
But whereas you could say that is now more the case on your side of politics because Labor's...
we don't have faceless men in our party, David, as you know. Well, we don't really. We don't have factional leaders like the Labor Party does. We have some loose alliances, and of course people gravitate to certain people that you relate to and you might have similar ideas and policies too. But we don't have hard caucuses like the Labor Party does.
Let's turn to what's been happening on your side of politics today. We saw the Nationals meet today and the Liberals as well, reconfirming the leadership positions of Tony Abbott and Julie Bishop in the Liberals, Warren Truss as Nationals leader. Barnaby Joyce was elected as the Deputy Nationals leader, and then the Senate leadership positions for Nigel Scullion and Fiona Nash in the Nationals. Tony Abbott also addressed the joint coalition party room for the first time since the election. Here's a little of what he had to say.
But the task is now ahead of us. The challenges are considerable. We must stop the boats, we must scrap the carbon tax, we must build the roads, and we must get the budget back into the black. But we will do these things because that is what the Australian people have elected us to do. That is what the Australian people have a right to expect. My friends, we have won the trust of the Australian people. Our challenge now is to earn it and to keep it.
Now, Alan Tudge, the opposition leader, the incoming Prime Minister-elect, outlined there the issues that he took to the election. We heard a lot about, and one of them there, stopping the boats. It's going to be harder to do than many people would think, I suppose. We saw a boat intercepted overnight with 158 people on board, and now Indonesia's also raised concerns about a couple of the key elements, not just turning back the boats, but the other policy measure of using money to buy back boats in Indonesia and buy information from villages. The concern in Indonesia is this might encroach on their sovereignty.
Yep.
Is that a concern for you?
Well, we note what the Foreign Minister of Indonesia has said, but, I mean, let me say this. We both have the objective of wanting to stop the boats and end the drownings at sea. Both Australia and Indonesia do. And we will work methodically, calmly, with the Indonesian government over time, behind closed doors, in order to reach that mutual goal. We had done this in the past under the Howard government, and we will do so again under the Abbott government.
But you've got to do this. If you want to do some of these things you promised in the election, buying back boats and you know, paying villages for information, you've got to work in cooperation with Indonesia.
Of course we do. Of course we do.
And there's no certainty that's going to happen.
Well, we will work very methodically, calmly, with the Indonesian government behind closed doors. We're not going to have megaphone diplomacy, but we've built a good relationship in the past and we stopped the boats together, and we can do that again.
Liberal MP Alan Tudge, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks, David.
We'll take